Okay, part two of Google Drive for Watervliet Public Schools. One of the most powerful aspects of Google Docs and the Google Apps for Education is the ability to share documents, spreadsheets, presentations with others so that you can collaboratively edit those documents together in real time from anywhere in the world. So you could have a document that you are sharing and collaborating with another student, or maybe you're collaborating and sharing that with a teacher or another colleague. Collaborators on a document can either view, they can comment on, or they can even make changes to that document depending on the permissions that you've given them. So there's never really a reason to email document attachments or merge and edit from multiple copies of a document ever again. So in this tutorial, some of the learning objectives are real quick: how to star a folder or file, how to make a copy of a folder or a file, and the reasons why you might want to do that, how to share a folder or file, and we're really going to delve into that section of it, how to view the details of a folder, how to comment on a shared document, and then how to get a shareable link to a folder or file and what that means as well. So the first thing I need to do is I need to access my Google Drive. Again, you're going to want to sign into your Google account. You should see the Watervliet symbol logo up at the top, and you want to make sure, again, that it's you that is signed into this account. For this example, I am signed in as student test. So I'm within my Drive. Again, you see my Drive documents that have already been shared with me. I told you I was going to show you how to star a document or a folder, and I'm going to start with that. So this starred area is where you might find your most important or most used documents or folders, as mentioned in the first part of the last tutorial. Right now, there's nothing in there. So to star a folder or file, I'm simply going to right click and I'm going to add a star to it. I'm also going to star this folder. And now you see it in my Drive, but you're also going to see it in your starred area as well. And you see those both right here as starred. You never really want to have more than 10 to 15 items within this starred folder. As you can see, it looks just like my Drive. So if you had everything starred, you're basically just the same thing as my Drive. So really utilize this as just the most important folders or files that you might use. And in the previous tutorial, I showed you how to create new folders and how to color code these folders. So if you need to refer back to that, you can do so. The next thing I want to show you is how to make a copy of a file or a folder. So if I had a file and I wanted to take all of the formatting aspects of this file, but just rename it, I'm going to make a copy of it, and you'll see that the file will show up as copy of student test. And I'm simply going to rename this file by taking the name of the copy of, and I might put a different description for the file. So this can definitely be beneficial if you didn't want to recreate an entire document and you just wanted to use the same formatting. You can see that the numbers are all the same in the numbered list. I don't want to keep this here right now, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to remove or delete that. Again, anything you remove or put in the trash will show up right here, and this will stay for 30 days and it will automatically empty your trash after 30 days. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is how to share a file or a folder. Again, the reason behind sharing a document is to provide collaboration with other people. And you can work on the same document at the same time or leave comments depending on. So first I'm going to start by creating a new document. So I'm in Docs, and as I showed you previously, if I give the document a name, I can click up here in the title and it will automatically save this for me in my Drive and rename it for me as well. So in the top right hand corner, you see the word share. And when I share a document, right now, this is private only to me because I'm the owner of this document, but maybe I want to share it with another student, or again, maybe I want to share it with one of my teachers or a colleague of mine. So when I pull this up, you see a couple things. You see get shareable link, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Actually, we'll go over this right now. So under shareable link, this will give you an actual URL or web. Every document that you have in your drive has its own website, because these are all documents that are shared to the cloud. So here's the web address for this document. And you can see that anyone at Waterville Public Schools with this link can view the document. Well, I can change that to where I can turn it off so that nobody can have access to this link. I can put it so that anybody at Waterville Public Schools can edit, or that can comment, or can just view the document. I'm going to go, so that's getting a shareable link. I'm actually going to go back to share. And if I want to share this with a specific individual, and I'm going to share it with myself. Again, I'm logged in as a student test. And I'm going to find myself here. So now I can change this again. So when I share this with this account, I can have this person edit the document, so they can edit it at the same time as I can. They can simply just comment on it, and the comments you'll notice are right here, and they'll appear here on the right-hand column. Or they can just view the document, which means they can't make changes and they cannot comment on it. I can go down to some of the advanced features too. I can change the ownership of this document so that William Tiefenbach is the owner. I can send a copy to myself. I can paste it in an email in case I did want to email. And I can also have some other owner settings as the owner of this document. I can prevent editors from changing the access and adding new people. So if I didn't want this user to add anyone else, I might check this off just so they cannot add anyone else to this. You can also disable some of the options of downloading, printing, and copying, so that you might have those. I don't know why you'd want to change that, but maybe for copyright reasons, for example. So again, here's the link if you wanted to share that. So those are the three options: edit, comment, and view. So this should automatically be saved in my Google Drive, as I noted in the previous tutorial. So you don't have to go to File, Save As. It's automatically right here. Now I can also share from my drive as well by either right-clicking and choosing Share, or here's my Get Shareable link for this. I can even just turn this off, the link sharing. So if I didn't want anyone that had the URL or the web address, I can turn that off for this file so that it can't be shared. I can also share right here as well, either by right-clicking or clicking on this button right here. So again, this brings me back to this area where I can add specific people. I'm going to add myself again. I don't think I saved that, and I'm going to give myself editing rights. So let me show you something else. So if someone else shares a document with me, that's going to appear right here in this area. And you can see I'm going to go to this example in just a minute. But before I do, I wanted to go to, and I showed you this in the last tutorial, the details of this document. And under the details, you can see who I've shared this. So I am the owner of this document, but I've shared it with William Tiefenbach. The type is a Google Doc. It will tell you the size. Since I really don't have anything typed in there, it's not a very large document. When it was created, where the location is. So if I had it in multiple locations, maybe I made a copy of it and put it in another folder, it would show me those locations right here. And then the activity of when this was edited and shared, when I restricted the access. Okay, so even though I just created this document, you can see a timestamp of if you've shared it with somebody else, what has happened with that. If I go to my desktop here and I get into this file and I make a change, let me open it back up. So since I'm sharing this file with quote unquote William Tiefenbach, you're going to notice the picture of myself up here, because I'm currently editing the document here in a second. And you're going to notice that when I make a change to it, it will also make that change on the document as I make those changes. You can see who is making the changes, and each person is differently colored. And so I'm in pink right now, but maybe as the student test, I'm making also changes as well. So automatically it changes and saves in your Google Drive. It's also changing with the other person that you're sharing the document with, which is kind of nice. Now over here on the right, you can see I can make a comment. So I might want to put, and student test is making this comment, this is not spelled right. And I can make that comment here. So for the person that's shared with, they will see that comment on that screen. I might do the same on the other. So you will see that here's the student test comment. Here is the comment I was making as William Tiefenbach. So pretty neat. Now, obviously, if you were to print this document, these comments won't show up. And I can resolve this and it'll disappear because that is spelled wrong, whatever that word is. Okay. So that's very convenient when you want to collaborate with other people. You can make those comments without making the changes, and so that way everyone can kind of see what's going on within that document, within that file. So I want to show you another example here. If a document is shared with you, you will find them in the shared document area. You might want to move or make a copy of this and move it to, I'm going to move it to my actual drive. I'll drop it right into my drive here. That way I know where it's at. Sometimes they get lost with all of the documents that are shared. If I again go into this file, here are the details, the activity. Just to let you know, Mr. Kuhn has ownership of this document, and it was shared with all high school staff and student tests. So I could show you the actual document and how it looks from somebody else. Again, I could add a description, created when, and when it was last edited under activity. And I want to show you again. So in this document, there was a bunch of questions generated and then commented on in a different color by myself. So again, just another example of a longer shared document and some of the features that you have with sharing a document and how to do that and how you might use it in your classroom or in many other creative ways as well. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers everything about sharing a document. One last thing here is if you are sharing a document, you want to share it with somebody else, anyone within the watervilleetps.org will show up kind of when you start typing their name. If I can get to this, actually, since I'm not the owner of that document, I'm going to go back to my original example, and I'm just going to share it instead of open it. So if I put someone else's name, like Mr. Kuhn, he will pop up. So students and staff will pop up automatically. If I want to share this document with somebody outside of the Watervliet PS organization, for example, this is my personal email, and I'm going to say that this person can only view the document. And I try to send this to my Gmail instead of my Watervliet PS, this will pop up. So make sure you read this. It says, are you sure, because you're sharing outside of our organization, are you sure that you want to share it? So you do have those capabilities of sharing documents with other people at another school or another organization, but this reminder will pop up every time, just kind of warning you that, hey, you are trying to share something outside of the organization, but you do have those capabilities and those options to do that. And it will send that person an email saying, hey, so-and-so is trying to share a document with you. So be creative with sharing documents. You can share anything, folders. I can come up and create a whole folder and share that with another person. Maybe it's a project with multiple files within that folder. I can share that with them. I can create and share sheets, slides, anything that you see on this list currently, I can share and collaborate with somebody else. As always, if I could have you pause the video at this time and complete the knowledge check, it's about 5 questions. Again, just to generate some feedback and data of how we can improve that training for next time. The address is goo.gl/DE capital K M capital J capital K. And again, you can find this presentation, refer back to it by using this link right here or by going to the Tech Help website. By the way, this document or this slide presentation was shared from me to the student test, and you can see that you're only able to view it. So I cannot make changes to this document. So one last quick tip.